The Story of Lazy Jack. Once upon a time, a poor boy named Jack lived with his mother in a house near the field. His mother worked all day at her spinning wheel, but she barely earned enough money to put food on the table. Jack was old enough to work, but he was too lazy. All summer long he lay in the sun. All winter long he lay in front of the fire. He always thought about working, but he never got a job, so everyone called him Lazy Jack. One Monday morning, Jack's mother said, "Tomorrow you are going out to get a job. If you do not find work, there will be no more dinner for you." Well, that got Jack moving. Bright and early Tuesday morning, he went to work for a nearby farmer. Jack cleaned the barn and fed the animals. By the time he had finished, he had earned a good day's pay. But instead of putting the money in his pockets, he carried it in his hands. And when he jumped across the little brook, he dropped it. "You are not very bright," said his mother. "If you had put the money in your pockets, you would still have it, but now it's gone." "I will remember that," said Jack. "Next time I will put it in my pocket." The next day was Wednesday. Jack got a job working at the dairy. He milked all the cows, put in a good day's work. At the end of the day, the owner paid him with a jar of milk. Jack took the milk home and remembered what his mother said. "This time I will do it right," he thought. "I will put it in my pocket." But there was no cap on the jar. By the time Jack reached home, all the milk had splashed out. "That was foolish of you," cried his mother. "If you had balanced the milk on your head, you would still have it." "I will remember that," said Jack. "Next time I will put it on my head." The next day was Thursday. Jack got a job with the man who made cheese. He worked all day long and got some cream cheese for his pay. As he took the cheese, he remembered what his mother said. "This time I will do it right," he thought. "I will balance it on my head." So he balanced the cheese on his head and walked all the way home on a hot afternoon sun. The sun made the cream cheese very soft. By the time Jack reached home, the cream cheese was sticking to his hair and dripping from his ears. "You dunce!" cried his mother. "If you had carried the cheese in your hands, you would still have it." "I will remember that," said Jack. "Next time I will carry it in my hands." The next day was Friday. Jack took a job at the bakery shop. At the end of the day, the baker gave him a tomcat. Jack took the cat and remembered what his mother had said. "This time I will do it right," he thought. "I will carry it in my hands." But the cat did not want to be carried. It screeched and spat and clawed and scratched. Finally, Jack could not hold the cat anymore, and it ran away. "You silly!" cried his mother. "If you had tied a string and dragged the cat home, you would still have it." "I will remember that," said Jack. "Next time I will find a string and drag it home." The next day was Saturday. Jack went to work for the butcher. The butcher gave him some links of sausage for his pay. As he took the sausages, Jack remembered what his mother said. "This time I will do it right," he thought. So he found a piece of string, tied it to the sausages, and then walked home along the dusty road, dragging the sausages behind him. "You stupid fellow!" cried his mother. "Look at those sausages! You spoiled them! Now we cannot eat them!" The next day was Sunday. Jack's mother was still scolding him. "Because of you, we have no meat for our Sunday dinner," she cried. "You should have carried those sausages on your shoulders." "I will remember that," replied Jack. "Next time I will do what I will do." The next day was Monday. Jack went to work for the merchant who traveled around the countryside. The merchant's donkeys were piled high with things for people to buy. Jack helped drive the donkeys along the road. When they got to the next town, the merchant said, "You have done a good job, Jack, but you must be tired to walk all the way home." So he gave Jack one of the donkeys. As Jack took the donkey, he remembered what his mother said. "This time I will do it right," he said. "I will carry it on my shoulders." So he tried, and at the last he got the donkey on his shoulders. The donkey did not like being carried that way. He kicked his feet and tried to get down. He brayed and he hee-hawed, but Jack just held on more tightly and stumbled down the road. Now it happened that the road led past a big house where a rich man lived. He had a beautiful daughter who could neither speak nor hear. The doctors said that the only way you could cure her was to make her laugh, but no one could even make her smile. So the father promised that the first man who could make her laugh would have her hand in marriage. Now the girl happened to look out the window just as Jack came down the road. He was stumbling along with the donkey on his shoulders, and the donkey was still kicking and braying and trying to get down. It was such a ridiculous sight that the girl began to smile. Then she began to laugh out loud. "Look, father," she laughed, "did you ever see such a funny sight?" When he heard her voice, the father was filled with joy, and of course, he kept his promise. So Jack married the rich man's daughter, and they moved into a big, beautiful house. Jack's mother came and stayed with them, and they lived together happily for many, many years. I really hope he tapped that.